Hi! You might know me as a content creator, but more likely is that you don't know me at all. At the time of me recording this, I currently have 1,470 subscribers, and given the fact that there are like 1 million of you on Earth, chances are you're not one of them. Earlier this year, I spent over 200 hours researching and making a video about Enron, and it's currently sitting at just over 400 views. Do not get me wrong, I am under no delusions that I am entitled to your time. Some videos will perform well in the algorithm, others of them won't. That's okay. The reason I'm actually making this video is because a video on the exact same topic has 800,000 views, over 1,000 comments, and almost none of them are about the fact that it is blatantly using AI. Crayon Capital, if you're watching this, this is fair use. But even if it weren't, which again, it is, you didn't make anything.
December 2001. America's 7th largest company files for bankruptcy.
Wrong. It was the 5th. We are a sentence in and you are already wrong. And I know this because I actually did the research instead of having AI just do a precursory search of what it might know and use that as basic fact. Because that's not how it works. The way the Fortune 500 actually works is it's based off of the previous year of history. And it turns out Enron did very well when it was lying up until it no longer was lying. And so even though it was insolvent in 2002, it was still 5th best on that list. So that's just wrong. Also, I don't know if this is immediately eliminating, but every single art stroke in a different picture on this frame has a different width. That's the, lines that make up the art. There's a line that's dissecting and going into nowhere, so that's probably not good. And also, the voice sounds like AI. So that's 5 seconds in, we have 4 different blaring red flags, and if I wanted dog shit, I would go to the dog park. So there's that.
$63 billion gone. Thousands of employees wiped out. Wall Street shocked. But not because it happened, because no one could explain how.
Blah, 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 blah. But not because blah. Fuck you. Also, the design of the dollar bills just fundamentally changes during this animation. It goes from long and without a pattern to short and with little tiny stripes that don't even go all the way down the page. It can't do the thing of having AI be thematically intertwined. It can never remember what it's done before. That's going to be a problem throughout the whole entire video. Because this guy doesn't have a good AI subscription, the narrator character just kind of awkwardly wiggles around with non-mouching mouth movements and then says,
"This is the story of Enron, the company that sold nothing, made billions, and then imploded while everyone clapped."
And then a title card with an M dash. What a beautiful period at the end of a cataclysmic sentence. I'd like it to be known, I'm not actually anti-AI. I use it all the time to help me understand topics on a deeper level when I am fundamentally not understanding what's going on. It's great to have a personal tutor that can help me understand each individual thing deeper by asking continuous questions. And sometimes, I'll say it, sometimes I'll have 2 really, really great sentences and I need a 3-word bridge that I'm just not finding to connect those dots. And it does that just fine. This is not bridging the gap though. This is making garbage and then feeding it to you. And you're eating it! And that's gross!
Imagine a company that made its fortune by moving gas through pipes. Not the explosive kind, the boring kind.
Not the blank, but the blank.
That was Enron in 1985. Just your average Houston pipeline firm formed from a merger no one outside a tax attorney's office cared about. But then came Ken Lay.
Ken Lay was literally the man who made the merger. He didn't suddenly come along. He was the founder. He was the founder! Also, why are the hands suddenly drawn in a completely different style now? Don't answer that. I know the answer. That was rhetorical. Also, stop with the wiggling shit.
If the government stopped telling energy companies what to charge,
why would the government be telling Enron to charge more? It never once did that. Also, what is the fork and knife supposed to communicate here? Hello? I'll wait.
Enron could go from utility company to energy trader.
Hey, AI buddy, you missed the inflection there. We're just going to have you take that one back clean. Go ahead.
Suddenly, gas wasn't just pumped, it was bought, sold, hedged, and speculated on.
Suddenly, poop wasn't just turds. It was churned, squeezed, extracted, and pushed. I'm gonna start skipping around now. I have literally been stopping every single sentence, and I could do that for the rest of time if I wanted to tell you about 50 more it's not X, but Y, or wiggling things, or inconsistencies in the art. But unlike AI, I'm not content to keep on saying the same exact garbage over and over again. I like nuance.
Inside Enron HQ, the vibe was intense. Skilling told employees they were the smartest guys in the room.
So you're missing out on context because, again, I'm skipping around, so you haven't met Jeff Skilling. But this is actually extremely funny. Jeff never said this. No one at the company ever said this. This is being falsely attributed from the person who broke the scandal to the world, the journalist who did that. I believe her name is Beth. She named her book and then later her documentary on this situation, The Smartest Guys in the Room. And the AI is so stupid, it just took the shortcut and attributed that directly to Jeff.
You closed 5 deals, cut costs by $20 million, boosted quarterly revenue by double digits, and landed a contract that guarantees margins through 2009? Yes, sir. All ahead of schedule. Impressive. If we were running a normal company?
The inflection from the AI is so terrible here that it wasn't even clear that was the end of the thought. Sure, I didn't show you the before, I didn't show you the after. I need you to know that if you watch that for real, you would be no closer to understanding what that was actually about. And I know what it was actually about because I wrote about it. I read about it. I know what it's talking about. But it's just completely out of place here. Also, if you notice that that was visually disorienting, you're right. This is called the rule of 180 degrees in film. And it's where if you have a scene with 2 characters, each of my fingers are 2 characters. You're smart. I'm proud of you. If you have 2 people in a scene, you have to have your camera on one side or another side. You cannot have it go from this side and then a reverse shot on the other side because your brain is scrambled and doesn't know what to do with that. But because this is AI, it's just told, I need a shot from this side and I need a shot of the other direction, and pays no mind to the 180-degree rule, and it scrambles your brain.
By the late 90s, Enron was a legend. The stock skyrocketed from $7 in 1997 to over $90 by 2000. That's over 1,000% gain in 3 years.
I have no idea where it got the $7 figure. That's not true. 1987, it was like a minimum of $20. I think it was like $7 at the start of the company being publicly traded. That doesn't make any sense, which thereby makes the 1,000% increase that it claims to have just straight up wrong. That would be like 350%. If I got that right, I'm gonna give myself a gold star for using my brain.
If you bought Enron instead of groceries, you were a genius.
You were not a genius. You were dead because no food. Also, why is this their graphic for this? Why is groceries $5? Where is groceries $5? Did Woke make my groceries $100? Also, this is something that I would make as a slide as a joke. Why are these purchasable on the same site? Why are they purchasing it on a site? It's the year 2000. And this poor chump just bought all of the shares at the peak price. They literally could only have lost money.
The math wasn't mathing. See, Enron had made big promises. Constant growth, big numbers, no bad quarters. But energy markets aren't TikTok. They don't go viral every week.
Hey, ChatGPT. Quick question. What does that mean? Oh, and look, the art style for hands has changed again. Oh, stop.
Enter Andy Fastow.
Fastow. That's me doing the pronunciation YouTube videos that teach you how to say a word. Because apparently the AI doesn't know it. It's not Fastow. Also, I would like to sincere applause here. The AI did set up the chessboard right. White square on the right corner. That's a rule, by the way. and each of the pawns are on its own square on the second rank, not anywhere else. That's not so bad. I'm sure that if we gave it the job to make more chess pieces, it would screw that up, but it did well so far. It hasn't. I'm really grasping for straws here. This sucks.
He had fun naming these entities like LJM1, LJM2, and Raptor, because nothing says totally legit companies like randomly generated names.
Are you fucking serious?
By 2000, Enron's image was bulletproof, until someone finally asked, wait, where's the actual money? August 2001, Enron Tower. Jeff Skilling, CEO of the hottest company in America, walks into his office, places his resignation letter on the desk, and leaves, just like that.
The phrasing of this makes it seem like the question being asked, and which, by the way, would be from the journalist who broke the news. She was like the first person to do that, but again, they're just not going to mention that. Her asking that question, and Jeff leaving were somehow intertwined, which, to my knowledge, was not actually the case. I think he just knew that he was holding on to nothing and wanted out so that he had plausible deniability. And also, this video, to this point, had not made it clear that Jeff was CEO, which he is important to note because he was not when he joined the company. He did not become CEO off rip. He was awarded it after making it grow to such heights. So that's just a non sequitur from the start.
That same month, the SEC launched an investigation into Enron's off-balance sheet entities.
And there, right there, is our biggest smoking gun. That's it. If you weren't absolutely on board with me before about this being 100% AI, surely seeing that the SEC apparently stands for the Security and Exchange Commissioner should do it for you. I don't even have a joke for this. It makes me want to cry. Like, why do I spend hundreds of hours? Why do I spend hundreds of hours researching and scripting and crafting the imagery with love for my videos when I could just make thousands, and you know it's thousands, doing absolutely nothing? It is not an exaggeration to say that I spend literally all of my time on this. I wake up, I sit at this desk, and I work on my videos. That's it. Christmas Day, I worked for 8 hours on my content because I want to build a world for myself where I can financially sustain myself doing what I love. Storytelling. I want to be able to live in that world. And I see this and I wonder why I even bother. As I mentioned, thousands of comments, and almost none of them are about the blatant use of AI. And before you say it, no, they didn't ban it as a keyword. There were a number of comments that were talking about the AI bubble, and there were like occasionally somebody who was like, is this AI? As if they couldn't tell. So, no, it's just thousands of people all talking in a circle, not acknowledging the elephant in the room. It's right there, bro, and his name is Joffrey. And worse yet, multiple of the comments were glazing this garbage. Glazing it! Wake up, babe. New S-tier stick figure animator dropped. Dude, I thought this was oversimplified. That's how good the quality is. Keep it up, man. If I didn't value the objects I have in my room, every single one of them would be thrown at the wall right fucking now. Apologize to Oversimplified right now. There are hundreds of likes on these comments. Hundreds of them. They fooled the guy who spent the time to type it, and then even more of the people who were like, yeah, I agree with that. Let's give that a like. We agree with the sentiment here. I can't say that on YouTube. This channel has a silver play button after uploading 12 different pieces of garbage in a row. And, it's not for the love of the game, obviously. It's not like he's like, you know what? What if we had a new retelling of Enron, but done in a brand new way where it sucks ass? No. You can go and check out the business email if you'd like to sponsor bullshit. It's right there in the description, right next to the line, "This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Some details may be simplified or contain inaccuracies. Always conduct your own research to gain a deeper understanding of the topic," which is a really fun way of saying this was made by AI and there are many mistakes here as a result of it. I only got halfway through this video here. If you guys liked me tearing them to shreds, maybe I make a part 2. But the long and short of it is I'm exhausted. I'm sorry for being so negative in this video, but it's just, it's really disheartening to see something made so carelessly being so wildly rewarded. While you're here, I'd love it if you checked out my video on Enron. If you hate it, that's cool, but at least you'll know it wasn't for lack of trying. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.